Yo, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the fifth episode of the After the Whistle podcast. And today we'll be going over the Week 12 NFL schedule, and I'll be giving predictions and stuff like that. Sorry, I know you're seeing this on Sunday morning, and I know the games are starting right now as I'm recording this. I apologize. I was busy yesterday and I didn't get it done, so that's on me. But I'm going to try and get a video out before the games get too far into swing. So I gotta go over like 12 games, so I gotta go over them quickly because I'm gonna try and do it in under 20 minutes. So the first game we're gonna start out with is the 9-2 New Orleans Saints heading to Atlanta to face the Falcons, who are 4-7. The over/under this game is 46, and the spread is 3 in favor of New Orleans. I will take the over. I think the Saints are electric, have an electric offense, and I think Atlanta has a very good chance, to put up 20 plus, 30 plus points, especially after what they did last week to the Raiders. They beat them 42-6. I will say, New Orleans is going to win the game, so they will cover. I think they win by a touchdown or 10 points. Let's say we'll go touchdown. They win by a touchdown. So I guess the key to the game is Atlanta's going to have to throw the ball for 1,000,000 yards, and the Saints are going to have to do what they've been doing well, and that is utilizing Taysom Hill and run the football. And expect big plays out of Michael Thomas because he has been Taysom Hill's favorite target since he's become the starting quarterback. On to our next game, we are going to the 4-7 Detroit Lions heading to Chicago to take on the 5-6 Chicago Bears. Over under this game's 45, and the spread is 3 in favor of Chicago. I want to say Detroit's defense isn't very good, and Chicago has played god-awful in the last 5 games. They're on a 5-game losing streak, actually. They started out the season 5-1. Now they are 5-6. If they lose for 6th straight time, Bears fans, I'm sorry. You do have Mitchell Trubisky coming back as your starting quarterback, though. So he torched Detroit last time they played him. So I expect some of the same. I expect Chicago to win the game. So I expect them to cover. Do I think it'll be an over? 45. No, I don't think so. I think it's 28-21, Chicago. I think it's a low scoring game, so I'll take the under on this game. Wait. Yeah. Actually, that puts you 28. Never mind, I'll take the over. Sorry. My math is still a little early, so I'm a little tired. So I'll take the over. 28-21. So it'll be 49. Yep, I'll take the over. On to our next game. Pretty big game, actually. It is the 8-3 Cleveland Browns heading to Tennessee to take on the 8-3 Tennessee Titans. Over-under this game is 53.5. I will take the over. These teams are very high-powered offenses, and they can probably put up 30 points each. Tennessee is favored by 5. I will take them to cover. I do think Cleveland has a shot in this game. I mean, every team has a shot in every game, but especially Cleveland. It's going to be a run-heavy football game. Cleveland has the best rushing offense in the league with the dynamic duo of Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. But on the other side of the ball, you have the beast, who is Derrick Henry, who is unstoppable. I think both teams just stick to their roots and run the football. So I will expect it to be a high-scoring game because Tennessee does have that big play ability to take the top off the defense with A.J. Brown and Adam Humphries. As for Cleveland, they only have Jarvis Landry and Rashad Higgins, I think, is their 2 receivers. So I think it'll be a very, very, very good game. But I will take Tennessee to win, and I will take Tennessee to cover. On to our next game. I know this isn't really a big game. Actually, it is kind of a big game. It is the Cincinnati Bengals, the 2-8-1 Cincinnati Bengals, headed to Miami to take on the 7-4 Miami Dolphins. I never thought I'd be saying Miami Dolphins and 7-4 in the same sentence unless it is the Miami Dolphins are playing the 7-4 New England Patriots, except it's the exact opposite this year. The Patriots suck. So Miami, if I'm mistaken, they are second in their division only behind the Buffalo Bills, who are very, very good this year, led by led by quarterback Josh Allen. They are one game back in the division, so if Buffalo were to lose this week and Miami were to win, I think Miami is atop that division. So Miami is still in that playoff race. Over-under in this game is 42.5. Spread is 10.5 by Miami. I don't see that being possible because you're pretty much saying Cincinnati's going to score 11 points and Miami's going to score 21 points. So I'm taking the over. I don't know if I'll say Miami to cover. I will say Miami to cover. Miami's going to score 17 points or is going to win by 17. Sorry, I'm talking a little fast here. But Miami is going to win by 17 points. So I will take the over on that game. I just think Cincinnati is in shambles with no quarterback. Burrow was their season, and when he got hurt, their season went out the window. Not that they had a season anyway. They were not very good up until that point, but it just all downhill from there. I think Miami's defense gets after whoever's at quarterback. I think it's Brendan Allen, I think, is the starting quarterback for him. But yeah, I do think Miami wins. I will take the over, and I will say Miami wins by 17, so they will cover. On to our next game. Another one of those games where it's like, why are we going over this? It's the 1-10 Jacksonville Jaguars headed to Minnesota to take on the 5-6 Minnesota Vikings. Yes, I know it is a very lopsided game. 1-10, 5-6. I mean, it's not the greatest records for both teams, huh? But the over-under in this game is 51.5. I will take the over, and the spread is 10 for Minnesota. I think it's right on 10. So I think Minnesota, I don't know, I think it's Minnesota. I want to say Minnesota covers then. If it's right on 10, I think Minnesota covers. If not, it's a push. But I will say Minnesota's not going to win by 10, sorry. Minnesota's going to win by at least 21. They're going to win by 3 touchdowns. I think their running game's just too unstoppable. I will say, though, Carolina did have a very good game and stopped Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook. Held him to his lowest rushing total in the year without, even though he was hurt. I think it was 43 rushing yards, and not much on the air either. But I don't think Jacksonville's defense can stop him. So I'm going to take Minnesota. Does win the game by 3 touchdowns. Over under the game 51.5. I will take the over. Minnesota's going to score 28 plus. Actually, I'll take the under because Minnesota's going to score 28 plus, but I don't think Jacksonville's going to score much. So I'm going to take the under. I'm going to say Minnesota wins by 21. With that being said, 21 is a very big margin, but I will say Minnesota does have what it takes to win by 21. On to our next game. We are the 6-5 Las Vegas Raiders headed to New York to take on the 0-11 New York Jets. They are almost a lock for the number 1 pick unless they start turning things around and start winning football games. Adam Gase has turned this team into a dumpster fire. I mean, he has kind of ruined this season, and they're going to keep him until they earn the number 1 overall pick, and then they're going to fire him. Because if you keep Adam Gase as your head coach, there's some problems. I apologize, New York Jets fans, but that's just... It had to be said. Over in this game is 47. I will take the over. Las Vegas is going to score a lot of points. And I think the Jets, under Sam Darnold, I think who is coming back this week, I will say they have opportunity to score points. And so I think Las Vegas is just going to bury them. But I think the Jets do score points. Spread is 7.5 for Las Vegas. I will take Las Vegas to cover. I say they win by 14 points. I don't think it's that close, even though 14 seems like a pretty close score. It's not going to look close. Las Vegas should run the ball well, even though they don't have Josh Jacobs. They have Devin Booker, I think, or Devontae Booker. Sorry, they have Devontae Booker as their starting running back this week. Not a great option, but it's something to look at. And then we're going on the next game. You have the 7-4 Indianapolis Colts headed to Houston to take on the 4-7 Houston Texans. Houston is coming off a big win last week against Detroit on Thanksgiving morning. They won 45-21 in that game, buried them. Over under this game's 50.5. I'll take the over. I hate taking the over on every game, but just looking at some of these games, every team can hit the over. And I know it's boring because there's no. I picked one under, and that was the Jacksonville Minnesota game. But I think Indianapolis is just gonna somehow score a lot of points. They don't really have the greatest receivers on the planet. I think their best receiver on the year is Michael Pittman, who's having a pretty good year as a rookie out of USC. As for Houston, they lost their number one receiver, Will Fuller. He was suspended 6 games for PEDs. It was given to him by a doctor who said the medication was on the approved list for the NFL drug policy, but it wasn't. So he is suspended 6 games, and Brandon Cooks is going to be your number one receiver. I think Duke Johnson's also out for Houston, so I think it's going to be I think Indianapolis wins the game. I will say take the over. I do think it's going to be a high-scoring game because Deshaun Watson's Deshaun Watson, and he's going to score, find a way to score. The spread is 3 in favor of Indianapolis. I want to say Indianapolis does cover. I want to say they win by 10 over Houston. Once again, I don't think Houston's going to have enough weapons to hurt this very, very talented Indianapolis Colts defense, who's played very, very well this year. But yeah, so Indianapolis wins. They win by 10, and I'll take the over. Under our next game, we have the Los Angeles Rams, who are headed to Arizona. Los Angeles, the Rams enter the game 7-4, and the Arizona Cardinals enter the game 6-5. Over under this game's 48.5 over. High scoring game. Rams are going to score upwards of 25 points, and so is Arizona. I think it's going to be a very good game. That's a game you want to watch. I think it's a 1 o'clock game on Fox. I don't know if I get it or not, but I'll certainly be watching it. Spread is 3 in favor of the Rams. I don't see that happening. The Rams. Jared Goff has not played particularly well statistically this year, so I think Arizona is just gonna. Kyler Murray's just gonna have a field day on their defense. Mind you, they do have some pretty good corners. They do have a really, really good defense, but I think with the mixture of DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk, Kyler Murray, and Kenyon Drake, I just don't see them stopping the Rams. Big thing for Arizona is they have to stop the passing game, make them run the ball. The Rams have not been a very good run offense this year. They've been a 3-way timeshare with Darrell Henderson, Mark Brown, and Cam Akers, the rookie out of Florida State. So make them run the football, and I think you'll have success against them. So I would take Arizona, which means they'll cover, and I'll take the over on this game. I think Arizona's going to win by 3. No, actually. Yeah. I think Arizona's going to win by 3. I think they win on a last-second field goal. I think it's a very, very close game, and then Arizona does pull off the victory. Our next game we are headed to is the New York Giants at 4-7, headed to Seattle to take on the 8-3 Seattle Seahawks. As you can tell, Seahawks fan here. But the over under this game is 47. I'll take the over. I think Seattle's going to have a really, really good day against this New York Giants defense, who is pretty beat up and very, very young. The spread is 11 in favor of Seattle. I will say they do cover. I say they win by 21 plus. You have to remember Daniel Jones is out with a hamstring this week, so you're going to be starting Colt McCoy as starting quarterback. I think our defense isn't very good. To be honest, we have the worst passing defense in the league, but we held, who did we play last week? We held Philly to like 258 passing yards last week. It's not saying much because they're Philly, but I think the defense is coming off a pretty high against winning last week against the Eagles. held them to under 200 passing yards, which is the plus. So I just think our defense holds up and does get the win by more than 21, so I'll take the over. Speaking of Philadelphia, that's our next game. You have Philadelphia at 3-7-1, headed to Green Bay to take on the 8-3 Packers. Packers win this game. 49 is the over/under. I will take the over, and the spread is 8.5 in favor of Green Bay. I think Green Bay wins by 10. The reason I say Green Bay wins by 10 is because I think Carson Wentz does have a pretty good day. You all got to remember that Carson Wentz, I'm going to say that I've been backing Carson Wentz this whole year, saying it's an off year for him, and I'm going to stick to that. I mean, you've seen what he can do. I think it was his 2017, the Super Bowl year, actually, where he was an MVP. He was the MVP up until he got hurt in LA in Week 17. So I think it's just an off year for him. They just extended him to a very, very big contract. So y'all are wondering, like, why do you extend him? Well, because he's produced. So just wait till next year. Next year's the telltale year, whether or not you get rid of him or you keep him. I think it's an off year, but I do think Green Bay does win this game. I will take the over, and I will say Green Bay wins by 10. Actually, no, I'm going to up that up to 17. I think Green Bay wins by 17. I think they get after that Philly defense, and I think Devontae Adams is going to be not stopped. I don't think Philly has the corners to guard him. On to our next game, we have the 5-6 New England Patriots headed to LA to take on the 3-8 Los Angeles Chargers. Sorry, I don't know why that was so hard for me to speak there. Chargers, they sort of like the Falcons. They don't blow leads, but they always find a way to lose with it by less than 10 points in the last minute of the game. But I will take the over on the game. The over-under is 47. I will take the over. I think it's a high-scoring game. New England and the Chargers, I think it's a shootout. I think Herbert, I love Herbert. Loved Herbert coming out of the draft. I was a little skeptical because I started hearing things about how he's very indecisive, but not from what I've seen this year. He's been by far the rookie of the year so far. Maybe Tua, but is up there. But I do think Los Angeles gets it done. I do think their passing offense is going to not be stopped. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams are going to have a field day against this beat-up New England Patriots defense who had 6 opt-outs, I think, at the beginning of the year. Spread is 1.5 in favor of the Chargers. The Chargers do cover. I think it's a very low... I think the Chargers win by 10. I think they finally get their win, and they don't lose by... They don't lose by less than 10 in the last minute of the game. But I think the Chargers do move to 4-8. Our next game, we have the 4-7 Denver Broncos headed to Kansas City to take on the 10-1 Kansas City Chiefs. There's not much I got to say about this game. The over-under is 51. I will take the over. Kansas City can put up 35 points in the first quarter if they wanted to. As we saw last week against Tampa, Tyreek Hill is going to be unstoppable. Again this week, spread is 13.5 in favor of Kansas City. I will take. They do cover. I say they win by 3 or 4 touchdowns. I don't want to pick because, I have to. I will say Kansas City does win by. I will say they do win by 28 points. I'm not going to say the score because I don't want to do it. I don't want to say it. But I do say they do cover and they do hit the over. Denver, they have their quarterbacks back this week. So they're not playing a practice squad receiver at quarterback. But once again, Kansas City's not going to be able to be stopped. So that's that. On to our next game. This game got moved, actually. It is the 4-7 Washington football team taking on the 11-0 Pittsburgh Steelers. There is no over-under or spread on this game because it was moved from Thursday afternoon or Sunday morning to Monday night. So they haven't come out with an over-under or spread. Same thing goes for the game coming up. Not the next game, but the game after that, and that's Dallas and Baltimore. No spread or over-under on them. I will say, though, Baltimore does win that game. I'm just going to jump straight to it. I know I skipped the Pittsburgh game, but I also think Pittsburgh does win the game. I think it's very likely that Pittsburgh's offense gets back to it. I don't think they'll have James Conner this week. I think they came out with a report earlier this afternoon or earlier this morning saying that James Conner is going to be unavailable for that Washington game. That game is going to be at 2 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow on Monday. So I will take Pittsburgh, and that's that. As of Saturday, not as of Saturday, the next game, the actual Monday night game, it is the 8-3 Buffalo Bills headed to not San Francisco, actually. They are playing in Arizona tomorrow because Santa Clara, the city of Santa Clara, is not allowing the 49ers to play any more home games at Levi Stadium due to COVID and stuff like that. Yeah. So they're going to be playing their home games in Arizona, the next 2 home games, I think. So Buffalo is headed to Arizona to take on the San Francisco 49ers, who are 5-6. Over into this game is 47, and surprisingly, the 49ers are favored in this game. No. The Buffalo Bills do get the win. I think the Niners are, I mean, they're not out of the playoff race, but I think they have to be. I think they really haven't played too well. I mean, their 5-6 record makes it look okay. I mean, they're below 500, but that's not good. But this is as of Saturday. The over-under in this game is 47, and the spread is 1 in favor of San Francisco. Buffalo wins. Buffalo wins by a hefty margin. I'm surprised, unless there's news that Josh Allen is hurt or something like that, which I don't think there is. I don't see Buffalo losing, so I will take the over, and I will take Buffalo to cover, actually. And on to the last game of the day, on to the last game, which is on Tuesday, actually. It is the 3-8-1 Dallas Cowboys headed to Baltimore to take on the 6-5 Baltimore Ravens. Kind of a letdown year for Baltimore. Coming off such a high last year and then losing to to Tennessee, and I think it's the wild card week. They've really just gone downhill. 6-5 record makes it look better than they've been, but Lamar hasn't had half the year he had last year. Teams are starting to figure out what's going on and finding a way to stop it. But I do think Baltimore takes care of Dallas. Andy Dalton is back. I think he was back last week, but he is going to play, so that's a plus. But it's Dallas. I don't think they'll be able to stop Baltimore, Lamar, or they don't really have a passing game, but I don't think they'll be able to stop Lamar. But yeah, so that is my prediction, and those are the slate of games. The games have started, and most of them are like 10 minutes into the first quarter, so I apologize for that. That was on me. I did kind of blow that Saturday afternoon, but yeah, so those are my predictions. Thank you all for watching. If you like it, you can like it. If you don't have to. It doesn't matter to me. I do this for fun, not for any other reason, but that's proven better than anybody, but I do it for fun. As a football fan, something to do, right? But yeah, once again, thank you all for watching, and expect the video coming out Thursday. I don't know. I mean, if there's actually a Thursday night game, I will try and get it out by Wednesday. But if there's not a Thursday night game, I'll be doing probably a college football one on Thursday, a college football one on Friday, and then an NFL one on Saturday. So, yep. All right, that's it for me. Yeah, nothing else to say. All right, peace, boys.